How's it going, guys, and welcome to Gaming Evolved. I'm Shifty Cow, and in today's video we have another episode of Forumfield for you guys. So if you guys do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to smack that like button down below. Let's try and get this video to 25 likes. But anyways, guys, let's just hop right into it. So the first post we're going to be talking about is something just incredibly vague, and it simply says, what do you think about Battlefield Hardline? Now, way back when it actually launched, and we did play it on Xbox for a couple of weeks, and every once in a while we'd hop back in and do like a live commentary on it, I really have not touched this game for months now. Seeing all the new DLCs released and people play them on YouTube and things like that, honestly, it's starting to look really nice, because with the new DLCs, you can tell they just put a ton of time and effort just all into the assets and how it looks, how the gameplay plays out. Honestly, I can't tell that from, first person or what I think of it, because I haven't gotten to play it yet, and I probably won't play it anywhere in the future unless it just goes on an insane sale. But really, they look really nice, and from the videos I've seen, it seems like it's a very solid DLC pack. So I'm actually pretty happy to see that they're continuing development and actually pumping out some really good content, despite it doing very poorly on PC right now. Like, the population is pretty much next to none, and the only time it actually gets revived for a little bit is when they pump in a new DLC. So as sad as I am to see this kind of dying away, it's going to be pretty good for the Battlefield 4 community, because the less people you have playing Hardline, the more people can play Battlefield 4, and honestly, it's a really tough transition between games because they are so different. So maybe it's just because I haven't played this game in months now, or the fact that they've added in a bunch of shiny new toys and I just want to see what those are, but really this game is looking really nice, and I'm happy to see they're actually doing very well with it. So moving on to our next post, we're going to be talking about DMRs, more specifically the M1 Garand DMR. So this guy says, title speaks for itself, would be cool to have an M1 Garand as a DMR, come on DICE, give us this classic again. Now I see a ton of people actually asking for guns in either the forum sections, in the comments, in the chat. Sometimes I see it on replies to like their news announcements, and really you have to understand that DICE has been working overtime for a very long time. After the Final Stand DLC release, they really could have just stopped producing content right there and brought us no more patches, no more DLC, no more jungle maps, none of that. And really, I am so glad they did not, because first of all, a lot of people were really turned off by Battlefield 4's just piss poor launch, and that's to be expected because it did have a very rough time, and it still has some problems now. But honestly, I'm glad to see they're actually changing it. And although a lot of people request certain guns, I feel like this would actually be a pretty solid suggestion, because a lot of people ask for things like the AK-47 or something like that, and the problem isn't actually adding it in and designing it, because chances are they have a model that they could, render out and make somewhat decent, just do some updating, and I doubt it would be that hard visually, but the problem is to make it unique. Like, a lot of guns, like the sniper rifles are a prime example. DICE already said they're probably not going to add any more sniper rifles to Battlefield 4, solely because it's nearly impossible to make them actually feel different from each other, and they don't want to add in just like skins for guns. So while I do get where they're coming from, I feel like adding in skins wouldn't be a bad thing. Like, if it felt exactly the same as a different gun, but it just looked different, people would still enjoy that, but I don't think it would get the use out of it that DICE wants. So the M1 Garand, on the other hand, could be a pretty interesting weapon. I could see it being something where you change it to rather being a, fast shooting with a similar to an AR style of damage model. Rather than having that, you could have a very low rate of fire and then have, sniper-like damage. So that way it could be like a 3-shot kill at long range, or if you're very close and you get a headshot inside like 100 meters, that's going to be a 1-shot. That could be a really cool mechanic where it's a 2-shot close range, 1-shot headshot, 3-shot long range. Like, that would be really cool, as long as they balanced out in terms of, muzzle velocity, accuracy, all those types of things. It'd be kind of an interesting gun to balance out, and something that's definitely unique enough to add into Battlefield 4 while being a very iconic weapon. And overall, if they were to add in new weapons to Battlefield 4, this would be one of the few that I could actually see them adding in, while still being well balanced and different from all the rest. So moving on to our last post of the day, we're going to be talking about something that really does need to be fixed, and I'm obviously not going to read this entire paragraph to you because that would just take forever, but basically he's talking about the M60 and how the M60 UGL or whatever it is on the jungle map, that's absolutely amazing, and it got him thinking about the M60 in the base game. While it is a favorite among a lot of people, it's definitely not one of the more popular weapons, and one of the biggest problems that I personally have from it is adding on scopes. For some stupid reason, I'm not sure if this is a bug or it's on purpose by DICE, it has a massive hunk of metal that just blocks blocks most, if not all of the area that you need in order to account for bullet drop, and really this wouldn't be a problem if it was on something like an MPX or like an AEK where you're just going to be very close range, but since it's the M60, this thing is specifically designed for long range engagements. You're meant to kind of semi-auto or burst fire this weapon, and it's going to be really effective at long range, so not being able to actually tell where your bullets are going is a really horrible thing, and honestly I think they should just fix this because it's really stupid that it's still in the game. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to smack that like button down below, and if you have any feedback or comments that you would like me to talk about in our next video, be sure to leave those down in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe as we do post Battlefield content daily, but until next time, guys, stay buttery.